Back with you for another video. This is another live stream, and this has become somewhat of a tradition, doing something in this regard, uh, really for the past, I guess, 10 years, since 2015. Started off with a special on the Pass the Mic radio hour back in January of 2015. Celebrating at that time 40 years of Blood on the Tracks, and now we are going on 49 years, celebrating 49 years. Actually, yesterday, so technically we're going on 50 years. But yesterday marked 49 years since the anniversary or since Bob Dylan released, I should say, um, Blood on the Tracks. It's such a great album. Means so much to me that I'm getting tongue tied already, which is great. But this, like I said, is just for me, it's the ultimate breakup album. Just the one that I relate to the most and have historically. Uh, and Dylan has said in the past that, it's sad to me that people relate to that. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's sad to me too. I don't love it, but, it is what it is. And so there are a handful of these songs that I relate to almost word for word. And so that's just kind of where we're at here. So we're going to play these songs. I'm going to play them through uh, just pretty much verbatim, at least with, how I play them. I don't do them in open E like he did. Um, but pretty much how they appeared on the record, very bare bones, and can talk a little bit about them. So, I've been doing this for a while, and you guys know that my obsession with Bob Dylan all began at the age of 4 when I heard Tangled Up in Blue for the first time in my dad's car. The way I remember it is he was driving me to school, but it might have been driving me somewhere else. And I just remember really perking up, and I'll explain a little bit more about that later. But I remember just really perking up, hearing it. And so that's kind of where it all began for me. And so this is Tangled Up in Blue, and I hope you enjoy it. Early one morning the sun was shining, and I was laying in bed, wondering if she changed at all, if her hair was still red. Her folks, they said our lives together sure are gonna be rough. They never did like Mama's homemade dress, but the span book wasn't big enough. And I was standing on the side of the road, rain falling on my shoes, heading out for the East Coast. Lord knows I played some blues, getting through, tangled up in blue. She was married when we first met, soon to be divorced. I helped her out of a jam, I guess, but I used a little too much force. We drove that car as far as we could and abandoned it out west. Split it up on a dark, sad night, both agree, and it was best. She turned around and looked at me as I was walking away. I heard her say over my shoulder, we'll meet again someday on the avenue, tangled up in blue. She was married when we first. Off to a great start here. I had a job in the great north woods, working as a cook for a spell, but I never did like it all that much, and one day the axe just fell. So I drifted down to New Orleans, where lucky was to be employed, working for a while on a fishing boat right outside the Detroit. But all the while I was alone, the past was close behind. I seen a lot of women, but she never stood my mind, and I just grew tangled up in blue. She was working in a topless place, and I stopped in for a bit. I just kept looking at the side of her face, and the spotlight so clear. Then later on, as the crowd thinned out, I was just about to do the same. She was standing there in the back of my chair, said, "Tell me, don't I know your name?" I muttered something underneath my breath. She studied the lines on my face. I must admit I felt a little uneasy when she bent down to tie the laces of my shoe, tangled up in blue. She lit a burner on the stove and offered me a pipe. I thought you'd never say hello, she said. You look like the silent type. Then she opened up a book of poems and handed it to me, written by an Italian poet from the 13th century. And every one of them words rang true and glow like burning coal, pouring off of every page like it was written in my soul from me to you, tangled up in blue. I lived with them on Montague Street in a basement down the stairs. There was music in the cafes and night and revolution in the air. Then he started interdealing with slaves and something inside of him died. She had to sell everything she owned and she froze up inside. And when it finally the bottom fell out, I became withdrawn. The only thing I knew how to do was to keep on keeping on like a bird that flew, tangled up in blue. So now I'm going back again. I got to get to her somehow. All the people we used to know, they're an illusion to me now. Some are mathematicians, some are carpenters' wives. I don't know how it all got started, I don't know what they do with their lives. For me, I'm still on the road, heading for another job. We always didn't feel the same, we just saw it from a different point of view. Tangled up in blue. All right, and that was Tangled Up in Blue. Like I said, what started it all, my obsession with Bob Dylan. So you would think with that I'd know that he only sings the second verse once, and I kind of messed up on that. But that's just one of those things. Um, so that is a song that like I said, I heard it when I was 4 years old. My dad was driving me somewhere, and it just really perked up my ears. And I was four, so before you crown me, this genius, which you'd also be right about. But at the time, I just thought it was funny that he was singing about his shoe. And she bent down to tie the laces of my shoe, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But my goodness, that is honestly, I refer to that as the greatest story ever told. It's just one of those things that transcends time and space and all of those things. And it's just absolutely phenomenal. I can't get over that. I can't imagine ever writing anything that good, but it did inspire my song called Nothing Left to Say, often No Curtain Call, which I refer to as My Blood on the Tracks. Um, And, more about that later. I want to give a shout out to my friend Stephanie, who's tuning in. Appreciate you for doing so, taking time out of your Sunday to tune into this live stream and celebrate, like I said, the greatest album ever made, which is Blood on the Tracks. So Tangled Up in Blue, that is kind of the What Happened song, as was Nothing Left to Say. And I actually had another song called Which Lie, and that kind of got at the same thing of like, this is what happened. So that was off of No Curtain Call. And I'll talk about this a little bit more later, but Dylan only wanted one What Happened song. And so that's Tangled Up in Blue was the one that made the record. Now, a handful of these songs he performed when they first came out, but, has only done so intermittently. I'll talk about those as we move forward. This, according to his website, reputable source, but he has played Tangled Up in Blue 1,685 times, and probably not the same way twice. I was just listening to the real live version, and he puts it in third person, which we'll get to in a second, but he puts it all in third person, changes up the lyrics quite a bit, and it really just becomes a whole different song. The only song of his that he considers complete is Like a Rolling Stone. But apart from that, he'll just switch up the lyrics live. So that is just one of those things. But anywho, that is Tangled Up in Blue. And the last time that he performed this particular song was August 28th of 2018. So about 5.5 years ago, coming up on 6 years ago. But like I said, just one of the best songs ever played, ever written, all of that. So that is Tangled Up in Blue. Now, I always say that Tangled Up in Blue is my story. I still stand by that, but the more that I've gotten into Blood on the Tracks and really studying the lyrics, Simple Twisted Fate, which is track 2, is probably the one that I relate to the most, even though Tangled Up in Blue is, will always be my first love. But Simple Twisted Fate is, like I said, the second track, and just kind of is a nice way of asking, how could you forget? And it's just absolutely gorgeous. So this is Simple Twisted Fate, and I hope you enjoy it. They sat together in the park as the evening sky grew dark. She looked at him and he felt a spark tingle to his bones. 'Twas then he'd felt alone and wished that he'd gone straight and watched out for a simple twist of fate. They walked along by the old canal, a little confused, I remember well, and stopped into a strange hotel with a neon burning bright. He felt the heat of the night hit him like a freight train, moving with a simple twist of fate. A saxophone someplace far off played as she was walking on by the arcade, as the light bust through a beat-up shade where he was waking up. She dropped a coin into the cup of a blind man the gate and forgot about a simple twist of fate. He woke up, the room was bare. He didn't see her anywhere. He told himself he didn't care and pushed the window open wide. Felt an emptiness inside, to which he just could not relate. Brought on by a simple twist of fate. He hears the ticking of the clocks and walks along with a parrot that talks. He hunts her down by the waterfront docks where the sailors all come in. Maybe she'll pick him out again. How long must he wait? One more time for a simple twist of fate. He woke up. People tell me it's a sin to know and feel too much from within. I still believe he was my twin, but I lost the ring. She was born in the spring, and I was born too late. Blame it on a simple twist of fate. All right, and that was Simple Twist of Fate. Like I said, the second track off of Blood on the Tracks, and probably the one that I sadly relate to the most. This one was actually last played in 2021, November 2nd of 2021, which appropriately enough, day before my birthday. So, that's how well I relate to that, is that he just feels like playing it, right around then. Just in honor of that. Now, I should have these memorized, but one of the biggest things and earliest things that I learned about Blood on the Tracks, courtesy of my dad, was that there was a set of songs, there were 10 songs that ended up making the cut. And 5 of them he, at the last minute, re-recorded, flew back to Minneapolis and re-recorded them. Did that at the suggestion of his brother David, who was his manager, and actually who used to teach a former coworker of mine. Oddly enough, that's a whole story. But anyway, Tangled Up in Blue was one of the songs that got re-recorded on December 30th of 1974 in Minneapolis. September 19th was the initial New York session. But Dylan felt like it was a little bit too dark, as did David. And so they, re-recorded it 11th hour. And Columbia had just gotten Dylan back from a 2-album stint at Asylum. So they wanted to, kind of give him what he wanted. But Tangled Up in Blue was one that ended up getting re-recorded in Minneapolis. Simple Twist of Fate was not. But this next song that I'm going to do was re-recorded actually December 27th of 74 in Minneapolis. This is You're a Big Girl Now. I do want to give a shout out to my mom, who is also tuning in. Appreciate you. For that, she knows better than anyone my obsession with Bob Dylan and how long it has lasted. So this is You're a Big Girl Now by Bob Dylan, and I hope you enjoy it. Our conversation was short and sweet. It nearly swept me off of my feet, and I'm back in the rain. Oh, and you're on dry land. We'll make it there somehow. You're a big girl now. But on the horizon, sitting on a fence, he's sitting laughing at me at his own expense. And I'm just like that bird, oh, singing just for you. Yeah, I hope that you can hear me singing through all those tears. Time is a jet plane, it moves so fast. Oh, but what a shame if what we share cannot last. I can change, I swear. Oh, see what you can do. I can make it through. You can make it too. Love is so simple, to quote a phrase. You've known it all this time, I'm learning it these days. Oh, I know where I can find you. Oh, in somebody's room, it's the price that I must pay. You're a big girl all the way. A change in the weather is known to be extreme. But what's the sense in changing horses in midstream? I'm going out of my mind. Oh, with a pain that stops and starts like a corkscrew to my heart. Ever since we've been apart. All right, and that was You're a Big Girl Now by Bob Dylan. All of these songs are by Bob Dylan. We are celebrating 49 years of Blood on the Tracks. And it's just an absolutely fabulous album. And like I said, it's got this Minnesota connection with 5 of the songs being re recorded back in Minneapolis at the last minute in December. They were going to have a Christmas release so that they could, have Christmas sales and all of that. The last second, Dylan said, no, something doesn't sound right. His brother David actually was the one who initially brought that to his attention, and he agreed. So re-recorded a handful of the songs, and this next one, "Idiot Wind," is one of them. So this is even though I always love talking about Positively Fourth Street, and that came out about 10 years before Idiot Wind did. But Idiot Wind is just this great mix of poetic and just piercing. Um, and so we're going to do that one next. I do want to talk about You're a Big Girl Now for a little bit more, though. This one was last played October 29th of 2007. He's played it 212 times in total. And that is quite a lot. And it's pretty recent that he did it, relatively speaking. I'll get to that in a second. But like I said, October of 2007 was the last time he played it. To me, this song evokes two things. It kind of evokes this coyness that Bob Dylan does so well, knowing something that she doesn't. But it also expresses a little bit of sadness, right? And, him saying, I'm going out of my mind, but saying, yeah, you're a big girl now. You'll be fine. You're the one who made this decision. And I just think that's a really nice balance. It's not completely in your face. It's got a little bit of sadness to it, and all of those emotions come with any breakup, and so that's very important to remember. Now this next one does not do that at all. This is Idiot Wind, and this is another one. Like I said, it was re-recorded in Minneapolis. Actually, the last one that was on side one. And this is Idiot Wind. I'll talk a little bit more about this song once I finish. Someone's got it in for me. They're planning stories in the press. Whoever it is, wish they cut it out quick. When they will, I can only guess. They say I shot a man named Gray, took his wife to Italy. She inherited $1 million, and when she died, it came to me. I can't help it if I'm lucky. People see me all the time, they just can't remember how to act. Their minds are filled with big ideas, images, and distorted facts. Even you yesterday had to ask me where it was at. You would think after all this time you'd know me better than that. Sweet lady, idiot wind, blowing every time you move your mouth, blowing down the back roads that inside. Idiot wind, blowing every time you move your teeth. You're an idiot, babe. It's a wonder that you still know how to breathe. I went into the fortune teller who said, be aware of lightning that might strike. I haven't known peace and quiet for so long, I can't remember what it's like. There's a lone soldier on the cross, smoke pouring out a boxcar door. You didn't know and didn't think it could be done. In the final end, he won the war, after losing every battle. I woke up on the roadside, daydreaming about the way things sometimes are. Visions of your chestnut mare shoot through my head and are making me see stars. You heard the ones that I love best, cover up the truth with lies. One day you'll be in a ditch, flies buzzing around your eyes, blood on your saddle. Idiot wind blowing through the flowers of your tomb, blowing through the curtains in your room. Idiot wind blowing every time you move your teeth. You're an idiot, babe. It's a wonder that you still know how to breathe. It was gravity which pulled us down, and destiny which broke us apart. You tamed the lion in my cage, but it just wasn't enough to change my heart. Now everything's a little upside down. As a matter of fact, the wheels have stopped. What's good is bad, what's bad is good. You find out when you reach the time you're at the bottom. I noticed at the ceremony your corrupt ways. It finally made you blind. I can't feel you anymore. Your eyes, they don't look into mine. Now the priest wore flag on the 7th day, sat stone base while the building burned. I waited for you on the running boards of the cypress trees while the springtime turned slowly into autumn. Idiot wind blowing like a circle round my skull, from the Grand Coulee Dam to the Capital. Idiot wind blowing every time you move your teeth. You're an idiot, babe. It's a wonder that you still know how to breathe. I can't feel you anymore. I can't even touch the books that you've read. Every time I crawl past your door, I've been wishing it was someone else instead. Down the highway, down the tracks, down the road to ecstasy, I followed you beneath the stars, hounded by your memory and all your raging glory. I've been double-crossed thoughts now for the very last time, and now I am finally free. I kissed goodbye the howling beast on the borderline. We separated you from me. You'll never know the hurt I suffer, nor the pain I rise above. And I'll never know the same about you, your holiness or your kind of love. And it makes me feel so sorry. The wind blowing through the buttons of our coats, blowing through the letters that we wrote. The wind blowing through the dust upon our shelves. We're idiots, babe. It's a wonder we can even feed ourselves. All right, and that was Idiot Wind, or as he sings it, Yidiot Wind. Just phenomenal. And that was, like I said, the last of the songs on side one that were re-recorded back in Minneapolis, and that's that one. So one interesting thing, this particular song was actually sampled in "I Only Want to Be with You," the Hootie and the Blowfish song. You like to laugh at me and ask me what it meant by "Say I shot a man named Gray, took his wife to Italy. She inherited $1 million, and when she died, it came to me. I can't help it if I'm lucky." So that whole thing was lifted from Idiot Wind. And so if you look at the liner notes, or the I guess liner notes. I was thinking Wikipedia too, but I didn't say that. And if you see who co-wrote it, it's members of Hootie and the Blowfish and then Bob Dylan, and that's exactly why. They also mentioned at the beginning of it "Bird on the Horizon" sitting on a fence, and that actually was taken from the song "You're a Big Girl Now." I forgot to mention that this is called "Bird on the Horizon," and that's part of the reason why. In going back over these lyrics, study them a little bit more every year. Every year I do this, and there were a lot of birds in there. So there's "Bird on the Horizon," and later about a rooster a little bit later, and so that was kind of a theme throughout this particular record, which is interesting. Also in "Tangled Up in Blue," like a bird that flew, right? And so the bird is the common theme in him comparing himself to a bird that sings just for this person and then gets taken for granted. I relate to that quite a bit, and so that's just one of those things. So "Idiot Wind" actually has been played 55 times, and the last time it was played was August 30th of 1992. So he has not played "Idiot Wind" live in my lifetime. Quick other note about that particular song. So that was one of the ones that was re-recorded in Minneapolis, like I said, and a big reason was that he thought that it sounded too dark with the other, uh, you know, the other songs, and so he wanted to sound a little bit more commercial. And so one review of "Blood on the Tracks" that I read was that the re-recording of "Idiot Wind" was him holding back, which is just hilarious to me. And he got a lot of flack for that, and even he has said, I might have gone too far with that one. He actually got to perform this song in front of Sarah Dillon at some point, which I just think is phenomenal. Like, that is the dream. And so that's just one of those things. But I always tell people who think it's sexist or whatever, Imagine if somebody like Taylor Swift had written that song, we'd be having this conversation, and the answer is no. But also, she would never come up with anything this poetic. So, there's that. But that's just one of those things. So this next one uh, is actually closes out the first half of the record, and this is a song called "You're Gonna Make Me Lonesome When You Go," and this is kind of an outlier in an album of like really negative songs. But when he was separated from Sarah Dillon, he reconnected with Susie Rotolo, who was his one of his first girlfriends when he moved to New York. She appears on the cover of Freewheelin' and helped him get politically active and all of that. So they had reconnected, and I'll explain a little bit more about that later. But that's what "You're Gonna Make Me Lonesome When You Go" is about. So hope you enjoy it. I've seen love go by my door. It's never been this close before. Never been so easy or so slow. I've been shooting in the dark too long. Something's not right, it's wrong. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Dragging clouds so high above, I've only known careless love. It's always hit me from below. This time around it's more correct, right on target, so correct. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Purple clover, Queen Anne's lace, crimson hair across your face. You can make me cry if you don't know. Can't remember what I was thinking of. You might be spoiling me too much love. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Flowers on the hillside moving crazy. Crickets talking back and forth in rhyme. Blue river running slow and lazy. I could stay with you forever, but never realize the time. Situations have ended bad, relationships have often sad. Might have been like Velvet and Rainbow, but there's no way I could compare all those scenes to this affair. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. You're gonna make me wonder what I'm doing, spending so much time without you. You're gonna make me wonder what I'm saying. You're gonna make me give myself a good talking to. I look for you in Honolulu, San Francisco, Ashtabula. You're gonna have to leave me now, I know. But I'll see you in the stars above, in the tall grass and the ones I love. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. All right, and that was "You're Gonna Make Me Lonesome When You Go." Like I said, the last track on the first side of Blood on the Tracks, which we are celebrating today, a day late, but I celebrate this album 365 days a year, and this is a leap year, so we get an extra day to celebrate Blood on the Tracks, February 29th. So that's incredibly exciting. So I mentioned earlier that this song was about Susie Rotolo, and one of the reasons she had kind of said in some interviews, um, that the song was about her, and normally would take that with a grain of salt. But she said that she actually, spent time in Honolulu, San Francisco, and Ashtabula, and so that's one of those things that like that's how you can kind of tie it back to her. Also, I made a handful of recipes that were inspired by Blood on the Tracks, and 11 out of the 12 tracks, two outtakes, and one of them up to Bon Me. We'll get to that later. But anyway, one of the definite winners was a recipe called "You're Gonna Make Me Lonesome When You Mango," and it was a mango chicken recipe, just absolutely phenomenal. Um, so thank you, Dylan, for inspiring that as well. So the last time that the that Dylan performed this particular song, um, "You're Gonna Make Me Lonesome When You Go," was actually the day after his birthday in 1976. So May 25th of 1976. He has played it 12 times live. Um, Oh, that's interesting. So Stephanie said that the asked if the Steve Miller Band was inspired by "You're Gonna Make Me Lonesome When You Go," and I've never thought of that before. I don't think so, but I can't really say no because I'm not entirely sure. That would have been right before "Fly Like an Eagle," about a year before that one. So that's interesting. I'll look into that because now you got me curious. So this next song is called "Meet Me in the Morning," and we're going to chat about this song quite a bit throughout the night. But this is one of my favorites. It's the only blues-inspired song on this particular record, and with me coming from the school of this particular record, until I met Mr. Zeke Johnson down in Memphis, I had never really, paid too much attention to the bluesy side of Dylan. But it is not to be messed with. He knows what he's doing. Um, in the early days, and then obviously Highway 61 and Blonde on Blonde too were very heavily influenced by the blues. And so this song was that, and this is a song called "Meet Me in the Morning." Meet me in the morning, 56th and Wabasha. Meet me in the morning, 56th and Wabasha. Honey, we could be in Kansas by the time the snow begins to thaw. They say the darkest hour is right before the dawn. They say the darkest hour is right before the dawn. But you wouldn't know it by me. Every day's been darkness since you've been gone. Little rooster crowing, there must be something on his mind. Little rooster crowing, there must be something on his mind. Well, I feel just like that rooster. Honey, you treat me so unkind. The birds are flying low, babe. I feel so exposed. The birds are flying low, babe. Honey, I feel so exposed. Well, now I ain't got any matches, and the station doors are closed. Well, I struggled through the barbed wire, felt the hail fall from above. Yes, I struggled through the barbed wire, felt the hail fall from above. Well, you know I fought for you, fought off the hound dogs. Honey, you know I've earned your love. Look at the sun, singing like a ship. Look at the sun, singing like a ship. Ain't that just like my heartbeat when you touched my lips? All right, and that was Meet Me in the Morning by Bob Dylan. Like I said, track 6 off of Blood on the Tracks, which we are celebrating tonight and every night, but this is just, the special time. So that was another New York City session one, September 16th, 1974. So a couple things about that before we move on to the next song. So 56th and Wabasha, at least in Minneapolis, do not intersect. It might mean nothing, but I always take that to mean this ain't happening. Since this intersection doesn't exist, neither does our shot at the future. Or at a future, and so that's pretty interesting. I love "Honey, We Could Be in Kansas." I actually use that as an album title because I do that. Get the line of best fit and then name it after a line in a song, which actually I stole from Steely Dan. They did that with "Can't Buy a Thrill," which took its name from a line in a Bob Dylan record. And then he, of course, did the same with "Time Out of Mind," which was a Steely Dan song from Gaucho. So Gaucho to 1997, 17 years. But that was that aside. So you noticed, hopefully, you had the verse about the rooster, the little rooster crowing, and him comparing himself to that rooster. And the birds are flying low, babe. I feel so exposed. That is an added verse, not actually on the record, but from one of his live performances of the song, one of the outtakes, perhaps. But that's just one of those things. Last time he played this was in 2007, September 19th of 2007, and that's actually the only time that he's ever played that live. We will circle back to Meet Me in the Morning in a little bit, but just an absolutely phenomenal song. Now, I brought up my friend Zeke earlier, Zeke Johnson, and I do want to talk about him really quick, and I can't believe I forgot to do this when I talked about Tangled Up in Blue. But the first time I ever played in Memphis was at Ernestine and Hazel's at an open mic night. And I think I did a couple of originals too. You get 3 songs, but the last song I did was a cover of Tangled Up in Blue. And that particular song, so I did that. And this guy just because I got somebody to film it. And so in the middle of my performance, this old guy just says, I was gonna leave, but then I heard that you were doing a Bob Dylan song, and so I decided to stick around. And I'm thinking, who's this chucker that's, interrupting my set here? And Zeke turned out to be one of my best friends in Memphis. He was an English teacher for a long time, and ran into a former student of his who was kind of a troubled student, but Zeke fought for her and said, "Don't suspend her, don't expel her, or whatever they were going to do." And she remembered that 20 years later or whatever. And so, shout out to Zeke wherever you are. He did pass away a couple of years ago. Actually, yeah, we're coming up on 5 years ago. Wow. But he was a huge Dylan fan, the bluesier stuff, and connected me with my friend Pete Wood, who is also a Dylan fanatic. Um, and so that's one of those things. So shout out to you, Zeke. Power of music, power of Bob Dylan. So this next song that we're going to do is a song that was actually re-recorded in Minneapolis. This is the first one of its kind to be re-recorded. Like I said, in Minneapolis, the first one in the on the second half of the record, and this is a song called "Lily Rosemary and the Jack of Hearts." Now, I talked earlier about "Tangled Up in Blue" and how Bob had done it in the real live version, put it all in third person. And one interesting thing about when we did "Simple Twist of Fate" earlier is that in the middle of the second verse, he says a little confused, "I remember well," and he had previously said he and him, or she and him, and whatever. And then just immediately inserts himself in there and then does the same thing in the last verse. I still believe she was my twin, but I lost the ring. And then, of course, people tell me it's a sin to know and feel too much from within. Just a phenomenal line that, again, I relate to a little bit too much. But anyway, Lily Rosemary and the Jack of Hearts is completely allegorical, and it is written not only in the third person, but with a bunch of characters involved. And so that's one of those things that I just really appreciate it for that. It's kind of an outlier, but it's a fabulous song. And actually, part of the whole reason why I relate to Blood on the Tracks so well is that a lot of people in my life have been outliers. They've been outlying. And there you go. So this is Lily Rosemary and the Jack of Hearts, and I hope you enjoy it. The festival was over and the boys were all heading for a farm. The cabaret was quiet except for the drilling in the wall. The curfew had been lifted and the gambling was shut down. Anyone with any sense had already left town. He was standing in the doorway looking like a jack of hearts. He moved across the mirrored room, set it up for everyone, he said. Then everyone commenced to do what they were doing before it took their heads. He walked up to a stranger and asked him with a grin, "Could you kindly tell me, friend, what time the show begins?" Then he moved into the corner, face down like a jack of hearts. Backstage, the girls were playing five, got stood by the steps. Lily had two queens, she was open for a third match of head. Outside, the streets were filling up, the window was open wide. A gentle breeze was blowing, you could feel it from inside. Lily called another bed and she drew up the jack of hearts. Big Jim was no one's fool, the other town's only diamond mine. He made his usual entrance, looking so dandy and so fine. With his bodyguards and silver cane and every hair and place, he took whatever he wanted to and laid it all to waste. But his bodyguards and silver cane were no match for the Jack of Hearts. Rosemary combed her hair and she took a carriage into town. She slipped in through the side door, looking like a queen without a crown. She fluttered her false eyelashes and whispered in his ear, "Sorry, darling, that I'm late," but he didn't seem to hear. He was staring into space over at the Jack of Hearts. I know I've seen that face somewhere, Big Jim was thinking to himself. Maybe down in Mexico with a picture of on somebody's shelf. But then the crowd began to stamp their feet and the house lights did dim. And in the darkness of the room there was only Jim and him, staring at the butterfly who just drew the Jack of Hearts. Lily was a princess, she was fair skinned and precious as a child. She did whatever she had to do, she had that certain flash every time she smiled. She'd come away from a broken home and lots of strange affairs with men in every walk of life which took her everywhere. But she never met anyone quite like the Jack of Hearts. The hanging judge came in unnoticed and he was being wined and dined. The drilling in the wall kept up but no one seemed to pay any mind. It was known all around that Lily had Jim's ring and nothing would ever come between Lily and the king. No, nothing ever would except for maybe the Jack of Hearts. Rosemary started drinking hard, seeing her reflection in the night. She was tired of the attention, tired of playing the role of Big Jim's wife. She had done lots of bad things, even once tried suicide. She was looking to do just one good deed before she died. She was gazing into the future, riding on the Jack of Hearts. Lily took her dress off and she buried it away. As your luck run out, she left it in. Well, I guess you must have known someday. Be careful not to touch the wall, there's a brand new coat of paint. I'm glad to see you're still alive and looking like a saint. Down the hallway footsteps were coming for the Jack of Hearts. The backstage manager was pacing all around by his chair. There's something funny going on, he said, I can just feel it in the air. Here you went together, hanging judge, but the hanging judge was drunk as the leading actor hurried on by the costume of a monk. There was no actor anyway better than the Jack of Hearts. 2 doors down, the boys had finally made it through the wall and cleaned out the bank safe and said they got off with quite a haul. In the darkness by the riverbed, they waited on the ground for one more member who still had business back in town. But they couldn't go no further without the Jack of Hearts. The next day was hanging day, the sky it was overcast and black. Big Jim lay covered up, killed by a pin in his back. And Rosemary on the gallows, she didn't even blink. The hanging judge was sober, he hadn't had a drink. The only person on the scene missing was the Jack of Hearts. The cabaret was quiet, now set closed for repair. Lily had already taken all of the dye out of her hair. She was thinking about her father, who she rarely saw. Was thinking about Rosemary and thinking about the law. But most of all she was thinking about the Jack of Hearts. All right, and that was Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts. Like I said, very allegorical, of course, with Bob Dylan being the Jack of Hearts, the hero of his own story, as he should be, and kind of getting away with everything while everybody else causes mayhem, trying to get after him. That's the easiest way to explain it, because it's really complicated apart from that. And one does not dissect a gossamer. So, that's just one of those things. So yeah, like I said, that was Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts. So we've got 3 more songs in the standard edition, and then I've got 2 bonus tracks for you, outtakes. And this next one is If You See Her, Say Hello. And this particular song was it's one of my favorites because it relates to me in non-romantic ways too. Just people that have meant a lot to me. That, like, if you see them, tell them hi, and that's just one of those things. But this song is especially emotional for me because a couple years ago I was watching How I Met Your Mother, and I knew how it ended, knew how the series ended, and that it was very controversial and all that. But they were having a conversation, Ted and the mother were, and at some point she makes some comment, and after that, it's just silent between the two of them. And If You See Her, Say Hello comes on. And when I saw that for the first time, I absolutely lost it. And just because I like torturing myself, I watch it every January 17th because If You See Her, Say Hello was released in tandem with Tangled Up in Blue on January 17th of 1975, just 3 days before the album was released. So that's If You See Her, Say Hello. Before we dive in there, I was kind of falling down there with my fun fact. He's actually only played this once. I mentioned earlier the day after his birthday, May 25th of 1976. And that's the only time that he has played Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts live. So that's quite something. But this next one is If You See Her, Say Hello, and I hope you enjoy it. If you see her, say hello. She might be intentional. She left last early spring, is living there, I hear. Say for me that I'm alright, though things get kind of slow. She might think I've forgotten her. Don't tell her it isn't so. We had a And to think of how she left that night, it still brings me a chill. And though our separation, it pierced me to the heart, she still lives inside of me. We've never been apart. If you get close to her, kiss her once for me. I always respected her for doing what she didn't get free. Oh, whatever makes her happy, I won't stand in the way. Though the bitter taste still lingers on from the night I tried to make her stay. I see a lot of people as I make the rounds, and I hear her name run in there as I go from town to town. And I've never gotten used to it, I've just learned to turn it off. Either I'm too sensitive, or else I'm getting soft. Sun down, yellow moon, I replay the past. I know every scene by heart, they all went by so fast. And if she's passing back this way, tell her I'm not hard to find. Tell her she can look me up if she's got the time. All right, and that was If You See Her, Say Hello. That was actually another one that was re-recorded in Minneapolis, the second one on the second side, and actually the final one that was re-recorded there. Just an absolutely gorgeous song. The line that always gets to me is, I haven't gotten used to it, I've just learned to turn it off. And that's one of the most important things that I've learned about grief, is that it never does get easier, especially when people keep on repeating the same patterns with you, but eventually you just learn to turn it off. And it's a tough reality, but a necessary one as well. So this next one is a little bit more positive. This is Shelter from the Storm, and we'll chat about this a little bit more. But this is one of my favorites, and again, kind of an outlier. But like I said, we'll chat about it a little bit more in a second here. Twas in another lifetime, one of toil and blood, when blackness was a virtue and the road was full of mud. I came in from the wilderness, unreached a border formed. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. And if I pass this way again, you can rest assured I'll always do my best best for her, and then I give my word. In a world of still and nothing, man, knew about it could be warm. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Not a word was spoke between us, there was little risk involved. Everything up to that point had been left unresolved. Try imagining a place where it's always safe and warm. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. I was burned out from exhaustion, buried in the hair, poisoned in the bushes and blown out on the trail. Honey like a crocodile, ravaged in the corn. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Suddenly I turned around and she was standing there, with silver bracelets on her wrists and flowers in her hair. She walked up to me so gracefully and took my crown of thorns. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Now there's a wall between us, something has been lost. I took too much for granted, I got my signals crossed. And the one-night undertaker, he blows the funeral horn. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. I heard newborn babies wailing like a falling dove, an old man with broken teeth, stranded without love. Do I understand your question, man? Is it hopeless and forlorn? Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. In a little hilltop village, they gambled for my clothes. I bargained for salvation and she gave me a lethal dose. I offered up my innocence, I got repaid with scorn. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Well, I'm living in a foreign country, but I'm bound to cross the line. Beauty walks on razor's edge, someday I'll make it mine. If I could only turn back the clock to when God and you were born. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. All right, and that was Shelter from the Storm. So many fabulous lines in there. I think my favorite is I bargained for salvation and she gave me a lethal dose, or they gave me a lethal dose. But I also love the do I understand your question, man? It's just really interesting to have that so conversational in a song. And that might just be the name of my live stream next year when we celebrate 50. So stay tuned for that. That particular one, Shelter from the Storm, last time he played that one was July 18th, I'm sorry, July 16th of 2015. He debuted it on the 18th of April in 1976, and he's played that 376 times over the course of his career, well, over the course of its debut to then. So if you see her, say hello. Forgot to mention that one. That was also debuted on April 18th of 1976, and the last time that he played that was July 4th of 2009. So we've just got one more song on the normal, the standard track listing. And this is Buckets of Rain. Now, I mentioned Shelter from the Storm, and I knew all the songs, and I always thought that Shelter from the Storm was the last track to the album. And maybe that's just because when I, write concept albums, I like for there to be closure on there, if for no other reason to give everybody a good laugh when it doesn't actually happen. Anyway, one of the things that Dylan did on this record that just makes it absolutely phenomenal is he ended with Buckets of Rain, which is kind of a sad song. I'm sure there are other ones, but the Olivia Rodrigo album, Guts. If you consider that to be a concept album, which I kind of do, it follows a pretty cohesive storyline. Um, that's one of the only other ones that I know that has the guts to do that, to end with a really, really sad song. And Maroon 5 does it a lot, but it's not always like closure for the um, storyline. It's more just closure for the albums. You're not like on your feet being like, hey, there's got to be another track. So it's really, really an interesting choice. But Buckets of Rain is this one, and I hope you enjoy it. Buckets of rain, buckets of tears, got all the buckets coming out of my ears. Buckets of moonbeams in my hand. You got all the love on me, baby, I can't stand. I've been thinking all I can know. I've seen pretty people disappear like smoke. Friends will arrive and friends will disappear. If you want me, honey, baby, I'll be here. I like your smile and your fingertips. I like the way that you move your hips. I like the way that you look at me. Everything about you was bringing me misery. Little red wagon, little red flag. I ain't no monkey, but I know what I like. The way you love me strong and slow. Taking you with me, honey, baby, where I go. All right, and that was Buckets of Rain. Like I said, that closes out all the tracks that wound up on Blood on the Tracks, the fabulous, fabulous concept record from 1975. And it turned 49 years old yesterday, the 20th of January. So, like I said, those are all the ones that made it on the record, but there were two that did not, and I'm not counting all of the like alternate takes and all of that of the songs that did make it, although those are fabulous too. But these are songs that did not make it on. And before Meet Me in the Morning came on, he had a song called Call Letter Blues that was obviously a blues song, and followed a similar cadence, maybe a little bit of a different guitar part, but I don't even count that because Dylan does that all the time. And so this ended up not making it, and it's a great song. It's definitely a little more sad than Meet Me in the Morning, but it's still a really good song. So this is Call Letter Blues, and I hope you enjoy it. Well, I walked all night long, listening to them church bells tone. Well, I walked all night long, listening to them church bells tone. to say. Well, your friends come by for you. I don't know just what to say. Yeah, I just can't face up to tell her, honey, you just went away. Well, children cry for mother. I tell them mother took a trip. Children cry for mother. I tell them mother took a trip. Well, I walk on pins and needles, hoping my tongue don't slip. Well, I gaze at passing strangers, in case I might see you. Well, I gaze at passing strangers, in case I might see you. But then the sun goes around the heavens, and another day just drives on through. All right, and that was, like I said, Tall Letter Blues, which was an early draft of Meet Me in the Morning, and a lot darker, but still pretty phenomenal. I'm glad that song saw the light of day. It actually did originally on, I think, maybe the original bootleg that he released, but I didn't find out about it until More Blood, More Tracks in 2018. So, unlike that one, which was played 0 times live, has been played live 0 times, at least by Bob Dylan, live debut right here. You heard it first. Here at Minnesota Mike headquarters. So that one had not been played live today, prior to today. And I closed with Buckets of Rain, and that one has only been played once, and that was in 1990, November 18th of 1990. Now, like I said, these last 2 tracks got scrapped, and big reason why, again, later draft became the song Meet Me in the Morning. And this one, Up to Me, reminds me quite a bit of Shelter from the Storm, but it's also kind of a What Happened song, right? And as is Shelter from the Storm, but a little less so than Tangled Up in Blue. And so he didn't need 2 of those tracks. And since it was up to him, he chose Tangled Up in Blue. Both are phenomenal songs. It's really unfair that Dylan's, leftovers are still better than some of the songs that I put out. But, that's a discussion for another time. Anyway, this is a song called Up to Me, and it's got some fabulous lines in it, one of which, the only decent thing I did when I worked as a postal clerk, that actually was the name of the live stream last year. But there is a ton of really good lines in there. So this is Up to Me, and this will close out our show for today. Everything went from bad to worse. Money never changed a thing. Death kept following, tracking us down. At least I heard you bluebird sing. gotta show them time is the enemy. I know that you're long gone, I guess it must be up to me. If I thought about it, I never would have done it. I guess I would have let it slide. If I lived my life by what others were thinking, the heart inside me would have died. I was just too stubborn to ever be governed by enforced insanity. Someone had to reach for the rising star, I guess it was up to me. Oh, the Union Central is pulling out and the organs are in blue. I've only got me one good shirt left and it smells of stale perfume. In 14 months I've only smiled once and I didn't do it consciously. Someone's gotta pay the price, I guess it must be up to me. It was like a revelation when you betrayed me with your touch. I just about convinced myself that nothing really mattered that much. And the old rounder in the iron mask slipped me the master key. Somebody had to unlock your heart, I guess it was up to me. Well, I watched you slowly disappear down into the officers' club. I would have followed you in the door, but I didn't have a ticket stub. So I waited all night till the break of day, hoping one of us could get free. When the dawn came over the river bridge, I knew it was up to me. Oh, the only decent thing I did when I worked as a postal clerk was to haul your picture down off the wall near the page where I used to work. Was I a fool or not to try to protect your identity? You looked a little burned out, my friend. I thought it might be up to me. Well, I met somebody face to face and I had to remove my hat. She's everything I need in love, but I can't be swayed by that. It frightens me, the awful truth of how sweet life can be. But if she ain't gonna make me move, I guess it must be up to me. Well, we heard the sermon on the mountain, I knew it was too complex. It didn't amount to anything more than what the broken glass reflects. When you bite off more than you can chew, you pay the penalty. Somebody's gotta tell the tale, I guess it must be up to me. Well, Duke came in, Pippin denied to the Thunderbird Cafe. Crystal wanted to talk to him, I had to look the other way. Well, I just can't rest without you, love, I need your company. But you ain't gonna cross that line, I guess it must be up to me. There's a note left on the bottle, can you give it to Estelle? She's the one that you've been wondering about, but there really isn't nothing to tell. We've both heard voices for a little while, now the rest is history. Somebody's gotta cry some tears, I guess it must be up to me. So go on, boys, and play your hands, life is a pantomime. The ringleaders from the county seat say you don't have all that much time. And the girl with me behind the iron shade, she ain't my property. One of us has gotta hit the road, I guess it must be up to me. And if we never meet again, baby, remember me. How my little guitar played sweet for you. to play that tune when you knew it was up to me. All right, and that was Up to Me. Like I said, an outtake from Blood on the Tracks, the greatest album of all time, which turned 49 years old yesterday, and it still holds up very, very well. Um, yeah, so thank you guys for indulging me. I do this every year, and it's just so much fun to look back on all of these fabulous lyrics. The line that always gets me and Up to Me is she's everything I want and love, but I can't be swayed by that. That just really just phenomenal. And the only exception to what I said with, like Dylan's outtakes are better than some of my originals. The chorus to Wagon Wheel, I can write a song that's a lot better than that. So that's like all I got on Bob Dylan. But as Mark Purcell put it, even he was smart enough to quit halfway between or halfway through. So, that's just one of those things. But Dylan, thank you so much for keeping me sane with this particular album, all your music. And thank you for everyone who tuned in. Like I said, this is the greatest album of all time. There's just not a doubt in my mind. And I appreciate you guys listening to my stories surrounding the songs because that's what it's all about for me. I don't know when my next live stream will be. I know my next Blood on the Tracks live stream will be in January of 2025 when we celebrate the 50th birthday of Blood on the Tracks. But be sure to stay tuned to my YouTube page, YouTube channel for information about whatever I'm up to musically. Facebook, Instagram, all of that good stuff, Spotify, iTunes. As Minnesota Mike, thank you so much.